Sound resumed.
Hello and welcome back to the NUEL North versus South super event, I guess. It is now 2-0 to the North. And joining me for this third game and possibly final game, I have Sod It again, and we're also going to have a third caster called Excoundrel. Please introduce yourself.
Hey guys, a lot of you might know me if you've been watching way back when we started. I'm Excoundrel. I'm here to come in and do a bit of a try-cast for the last game. So far it's 2 to the North. Like we said, the South have to win this game and it will go to a tiebreaker because, of course, the Super 8 is worth 2 points. But we all know that's not going to happen and the North are going to stump again. And here's why. Manchester Penguins have got their bot lane in the North team. They've been strong all season. Duxbug is a solid AD carry, but Rod's brought out the trash talk earlier on, Defunct calling him a one-trick pony, so we'll see how that plays out, and hopefully Dux can make him eat his words. Hench got to Diamond 5 this season, really solid top laner, known for his Renekton, really good. They're banning out Quinn, which is something we've seen What the Moose play in the mid lane. He's been often touted as being a Victor-only player, but he's that last pick. Looks like he's going to be keeping himself at last pick, just because if he can pick a Victor in a solid lane, he may want to. Druss is a fantastic Lee Sin player and general all-round brilliant jungler. He's got such good map awareness, he knows where to gank, his counter ganks are amazing, and he's really solid on his dives. His Nocturne and Lee are really, really good, and it'll be interesting to see if Lee is going to be banned out, because if you don't ban Lee, he's going to take Nocturne. If they don't ban Nocturne, he's going to take Lee. So it's going to be interesting. Munch, what do you think of the bans so far?
Definitely an interesting ban from the North. We have got a Rengar ban. Rengar is tournament banned. We did say that at the start. So kind of a bit of a waste of a ban there. But other than that, we've got the Kassadin ban. Pretty standard. You almost always see a Kassadin ban. I mean, he's just such a strong champion. And then he got buffed as well. I felt he was like pretty much 100% banned and then they buffed him. I really don't understand that logic. Seeing a Quinn ban, that is almost definitely aimed at What the Moose. I've seen What the Moose play Quinn mid before and it is devastating. So definitely worth the ban there. Evelyn,
yeah,
obviously...
I really think that Rengar ban is kind of testament to the education that you get down at Southern universities by the fact that the Southern team obviously knew that Rengar wouldn't have allowed to be played anyway, and the Northern teams have forgotten about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, us Northerners a little bit slow, but luckily our league skill is that much higher to be 2-0 in the tournament so far, so never mind. I'm going to be seeing the Evelyn ban as well. Pretty standard ban, really. Evelyn being so strong with the new pink wards, stealth champions as a general being really, really powerful. Riven being banned as well. I don't know necessarily if she needs banning. I feel like she is a very strong champion, and obviously in the mid lane can be really devastating against those squishy AP carries that people like to play. However, I feel like she can be dealt with not too it's not too hard to deal with her. So and also going to be also going to be banning the Renekton, which is pretty standard ban, very, very strong top laner.
What the South have to think about now is that Mundo is still available, but they have locked in the Elise for Kuznea. I'm guessing that's going to be in the jungle, and looks like Nasus is being handed over. Now, this leaves Manchester open to have Shyvana and Mundo, and we saw the other day in the Battle of the Atlantic that double AoE burn, that magic damage coming up from Shyvana and both Mundo with both of their Ws. Incredible sort of team fight presence. Now Dross, he probably can play Shyvana in the jungle pretty well. I wouldn't put Mundo in the jungle anymore. He's actually going to go over to one of his favourites, which is Nocturne, but it does mean that Mundo is not going to be available to this game unless they're picking him up in a crazy position like mid lane or support, but that would be rather interesting, and I don't think any of the games are going to risk it with so much on the line for the South as well. Does look like Alistair is being hovered over here. You don't see Alistair in the bot lane that much anymore. He's a very sort of specifically targeted support. He's really useful in specific situations, and I don't really know if locking him in first is going to be potentially good, but they're going to go over for Akama. Lulu is just cycling through now, so I'm not sure who he's going to go for.
I would have been interested if he did pick that Alistair. I mean, it is a good support, and like nobody seems to play it, but actually he's very underrated. If you play it well, he is so detrimental. I mean, the flash pulverize into a headbutt combo, you just cannot go wrong with that, unless they have like the fastest reactions ever and can flash when you flash. Like if into that such a CC chain, and if you're playing with, like, for example, a Vayne or a Tristana, they can like knock you back as well. I mean, it's so hard to get out of that situation. However, I definitely wouldn't want to pick an Alistar support before the enemy support, because they could just pick something like a Lulu or a Leona or a Thresh or a like there's so many tanky supports or supports with slows that can kite you that kind of just stop you being useful.
The problem with Alistar Munch is that he's got such high mana costs that actually it takes a long time in lane to get the mana back for him to pull off his combos. So that's one thing that people do want changed about Alistar. It's just the mana costs of his Pulverize and Headbutt are really high for a support which wouldn't necessarily be building mana off the bat.
And also the cooldowns as well. Yeah,
the cooldowns are incredible. So it's just one of those supports that once you get him to that late game, and especially with the increased gold flow now, he can be that unkillable disrupty tank. But picking a support for his teamfight presence, often you sacrifice presence in the bot lane, and Alistar, if he's being played by someone who is godlike within like Mad Life, offers that kind of presence, but not everyone has that kind of skill. And although the Headbutt Pulverize combos are good, and they're not, they're easy to pull off if you know what you're doing. Most people take W off Smartcast, just a handy tip for you out there. It's still just hitting your Headbutt Pulv combo doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to get kills in lane. And Duxbug is going over to his Draven, which is odd because that's exactly what Defunct pulled out of the bag by saying he was a one-trick pony. Duxbug is known for his Draven. It's one of his best champions. He's very, very good in it. And a lot of people have been touting that Draven is one of those champions that can do well against Lucian, because you can get in with your Blood Boil as a Rush of Blood and then get in, use your Spinning Axes to out-trade him. But it's a matter of getting in really early. If you let him poke you in lane, Lucian will win the lane out when it gets to level 6.
And also, it's going to be really scary. If Draven gets grabbed by the Thresh, Lucian has so much burst. If they get that far behind in the fight, unless Annie can turn it around and lock down the Lucian, then they may well lose that fight. But it's really going to be... I feel it's going to be a lot down to how the supports play rather than how the AD carries play. Because both the AD carries are very, very bursty, very high damage, but also fairly low mobility. I mean, Lucian has obviously his dash, but it only removes slows and roots. It won't remove the stun from Annie. So whichever one gets locked down better by the support will probably lose the team fight.
The problem with Annie against a Thresh here is that although Thresh is amazing in lane, Annie can often sort of push them out with her really ridiculous auto attack range at level 1. But then going further through the lane, if Annie doesn't get the poke onto Thresh and he stays high health and she gets caught by a stun, or rather a hook, she's going to have problems because she's not tanky inherently, whereas Thresh as a champion has high base health, he has high health per level, and also gets that armor through the souls. Annie doesn't have that, and if she gets caught, this is going to be a problem because both Annie and Draven have low health values, and Draven doesn't have that much of an escape.
Yeah, definitely. And Annie being one of those supports where if you do get caught out, you're pretty much going to die because she's so squishy unless she starts to build armor. And if she does build armor, then, I mean, she's kind of negating her usefulness because she has to build AP.
I think that lane is going to be won in the first few levels. If Annie can get the auto attack off him and make them scared of her, and then put Draven in a commanding position in that lane, and they can start to zone, that's where they'll start to win. But if Thresh gets the upper hand, gets a few levels, gets his Q, E, and W, allowing for full mobility and catch potential, I think they're going to be struggling. And Defunct is a very good AD carry. I'm not putting anything against Duxbugs, he's really good as well, but Defunct, his mechanical skills are up there. Really are.
Yeah, definitely.
And Garandelf is known for his Thresh. That is probably his most known support. He is very, very good at him. Yeah,
and one thing as well, Elise Thresh on a gank level is so scary. I mean, the Lantern death sentence to get in, and then even if they like flash and rush of blood or whatever to get out, Elise still has her repel. She's not had to use that to get in. So like the potential with those two champions, like the synergy between them for a gank is just so terrifying. It's so hard to deal with when you are being ganked by it.
Now, the guys have got into game, and we've got Ped in the top lane with the Nasus, and What the Moose on Lissandra, who he has been playing quite a lot recently, both of them running teleport. This is a Fnatic style double TP split push strat that's coming out here. They're going to lose kill potential in the lane, and if the North are going to take advantage of that, they need to early on. They need to get those ignites down and go for the trades. The hench on Shyvana should beat Pedrillion on Nasus early on really hard. If he's aggressive, he'll push Pedrillion out of lane, especially with that ignite. Go in, burn him down, put the ignite down, force him out of lane, get him behind on levels, and by the time he's coming back, you'll already almost have your ignite on sort of a third or the way down of its cooldown. So Hench has got to play this really aggressively. It's a little more complicated in the mid lane. Lyssandra's got good range as well as Orianna, and she's got that good escape potential with her Glacial Path. But if Artesh is going to win this lane, he has to go really ham quite early.
Yeah, I feel like in the mid lane is not going to be too much of a mid lane. I feel like they both are going to want to roam. I mean, Lysandra obviously going to want to roam. She's got the teleport. I mean, that's made for roaming. She doesn't have an ignite, so she doesn't want to go for a 1v1. Orianna needs to go for that 1v1, but it's going to be hard because they both have so much wave clear that by the time they're sort of level 9, they're not going to be in the mid lane at all because they'll just come in, clear the wave, and then just walk away again.
Yeah, Sodic, I mean, you've been listening to us rattle on so far. What are your thoughts on the lane matchups and how you think it's going to go?
I mean, as you've been saying, I think it's really interesting that they went for that double TP, and that's going to be really effective when it comes to team fights later on. I mean, do you think that they're going to be looking for a split push sort of thing with the 2 TPs in the team, or?
Well, Nasus is an inherent split pusher. He gets so much out of it by good tower damage with his Q. He also gets obviously Q stacks while he's going, and Lysandra can clear waves like nobody's business. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. A double TP strat is very effective if you've won and survived the mid games.
That is true, yeah.
And Ped is notorious for his split pushing. He's very, very good at it. He mains Nidalee, so come on. And Nidalee main will know his split pushing tactics.
Yeah, definitely. And so we're going to be heading into this game. So if you would like to spectate one of us on it, you can actually join the conversation properly.
Already doing so.
And we will get into our TriCast rather than just me and X-Scoundrel hogging the airwaves. But definitely, I cannot wait to see how they utilise this double teleport. I really want to see these 5-man bot ganks and just force towers and just get those rotations going. If you're going to roll the double TP comp, then you have to play the 5-man team. You've got to go for the rotations, go for that double teleport, get 2 kills, get a tower, push as 5, get up to the mid lane, get a tower. And if you can do it right, there's nothing really the enemy team can do about it. I mean, when you teleport out, they can try and counter push, but because you're pushing as a 5, if you get those kills, once you get that momentum, it's really, really hard to be stopped again.
Yeah, I mean, I think communication is even more key for the South team than it is for the North, just because you've got to be able to kind of synchronise those teleports and get them absolutely spot on with timing. Whereas with the other team, they have a bit more time to react, sort of thing. Whereas I think with the TP, you do have to be on absolute top form to be able to pull off those ganks.
Yeah, and interestingly, Dux is running that cleanse in the bot lane, so if he does get hooked, he can get away from it. And then again, most people will choose to focus on Annie support, so maybe less relevant. And also, he's picked it up for the Nasus, obviously, because Wither is so crippling to an AD carry. But yeah, great matchup coming here. Everyone is really high in their solo queue prowess. They're all really top of their game players here. We've got some of the UK's best playing, and this is going to be a big match for the South because they need to win.
Yeah, for the South, this is all or nothing right now. And I do want to just quickly say before the game does start, the South are at a slight disadvantage here because Kuznir has just recently had some throat surgery, so he's not going to be able to communicate with his team. And what the Moose asked me to tell everyone, he's currently playing on his mum's laptop at about 15 FPS, so he may struggle a little bit, but we'll have to see what happens. With the comp they're running, it's going to be more down to the team game rather than individual play per se. I doubt we're going to see too many 1v1s in this game, so hopefully that shouldn't affect their game too much, and we should be entering the game any second now.
So who do we think is going to have if they were to go for a 1v1, a 5v5 level 1 fight, who do you think is a better composition for that?
For a 5v5 fight, it's a tricky one to say. I'd say, obviously, the Shyvana, so strong in team fights, plus the Orianna, plus the Draven ultimate, plus the Tibbers. I mean, that is a terrifying wombo combo right there. If they can get that off, if they can get the Orianna ultimate with the Draven, Tibbers stun and Shyvana ultimate, I mean, that is so much damage, so fast. But again, it's a really hard combo to get off, like in like perfect harmony sort of thing. However, on the other team, the Lissandra ultimate, Nasus obviously is late game a team fighting god. He just walks in, pops his ultimate, and just punches people in the face with his Q, half healthing everyone. Lucian, not necessarily the best team fighter. I mean, his Q does a massive amount of damage, but his ultimate, not necessarily that good for team fighting. I mean, it's much better for kiting and for small skirmishes. Elise, obviously, loads of disruption, really can build really tanky or can have a lot of damage. And Thresh, obviously, just one of the best disruptors in the game. The amount of CC he has and also the amount of tankiness he has natively.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the North are going to have this because Dross is on is one of his best junglers. You know, he's really solid on that Nocturne, knows what he's doing, and his map presence is brilliant. I don't know too much about Kuznia. I know he's played really well in the Super 8 so far, but I've seen Dross play for ages now, and this guy knows how to run the jungle. And this bot lane, I think if Dux gets ahead on Draven, he's really hard to put behind. But I've got a rep for the North because I'm supporting the North.
Yeah, definitely. It's a 2v1 in the casters for the North this game. Orianna tanking a bit of damage there from Kuznia. However, I reckon Artash has got it. Even though he's took that little bit of damage, I reckon he'll be okay in the mid lane. So
yeah, Orianna inherently provides more utility to team fights than Lissandra. Although Lissandra is touted as being one of the most utility intensive characters in the game, she can really only lock down that one person. And although she has her Ring of Frost, it doesn't stun or it doesn't snare rather for that long. And she does have the slow, but then again, you know, once she's burnt all that, her cooldowns are quite long apart from her Q. She doesn't really have much else to offer, whereas Orianna, she can hit 5-man with her ulti, and it does more damage than Lissandra's ultimate, and it's not as easily avoidable in terms of getting out of it. You have to be really quick on your flashes to get out of the Orianna ultimate.
And also, it sets up your team for their ultimates as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, Orianna can group them together, go in with the Shyvana, and Shyvana-Ori combo, especially when Shyvana's in the top lane getting all of that CS and the gold that's going to put her ahead in terms of her power. That's going to be brutal. You go from a Orianna Shockwave into a Shyvana Dragon Strike, I think it's called, no, Twin Bite, especially when she's in her cleave form in her dragon. It's going to be crazy. That's a lot of damage that will go down very quick. And then they have to get out of the trail of fire that is left when she's using her burnout in dragon form. There's just so much damage to be had if the team fights go their way from Manchester. And if Nocturne can get ahead and get his lanes ahead, especially using his paranoia as soon as it's up, I think the South are going to have a hard time here.
Ooh, Thresh trying to get aggressive there. He did throw down a hook, not quite able to get that, but the Northern team managing to get a significant chunk of harass down onto Defunct there, really taking a lot of damage.
This is what I was saying about the bot lane right now. Looks like Hens is going really hard, and Duxbugs is following up with those axes. He's got 2 axes spinning right now. That's really good for a level 1 Draven, and they're going really hard. And look at the positioning of the South bot lane right now. He's coming in for last hits and then backing off, while Annie is getting auto attacks off here, there, and everywhere. And Dux is keeping his spinning axes going. That's a really good Draven, just keeping them going, not having to recast, and letting the other AD carry know that he has the potential to burst him at level 1, and that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, the only issue though with this strategy is Elise is in that bottom half of the jungle, but we do have a gang coming down. Just the students here. Elise is coming down as well though. The cocoon's going to be thrown out. Just the student able to spell shield the cocoon there. Kuznia getting really low. The red buff is slowing. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch up. Just the student managing to get the red buff slow. The ignite goes down. Flash goes down for Elise as well, and I think he's going to be able to walk away from that one on about 10 HP there.
Yeah, Dross immediately followed up with the flash. Actually missed his auto attack because she was just out of range, but really good. That's gonna force
Annie going for the dive. A bit over ham there. Thresh picking up the first blood, and Defunct on so little health. Less than 10 HP there. That must have been about 4 HP.
Yeah, Annie got a bit greedy there, and that's unfortunately just undone all of the hard work they've had so far. Looks like Dux is going in, trying to get on to Defunct. Is he going to be able to catch up with him? He hasn't got his W up anymore. He's going to try and it just gets away. Looks like he's going to be caught out now. There's not a lot he can do, and I think he's really just ruined his lane for himself, really.
Oh dear.
Thresh having 2 kills now. Thresh really doing work for his team. Unfortunately, Lucian... Well, I say unfortunately. Fortunately, Lucian only getting 1 assist. So not going to be too far ahead of Draven. However, the Thresh is going to be able to get those extra wards. He's already got a Sight Stone, and he has a Spell Thief's Edge and a ward. So like that's the difference between the supports right now. That is a big deal.
Sod it, have you been keeping an eye on the other lanes? Tell us what's been happening in the top lane.
Yeah, top lane, I mean, you can probably see now, Pedrillian's in a bit of trouble. I think he's going to be having a hard time farming though, and he's behind on CS at the moment by a tiny bit. He does have a wave pushing up under turret, but I think the hench has got his man marked at the moment. Pedrillian's going to have a hard time. And then mid lane, I think it's been not too much has happened since kind of they stalked each other through South team's jungle for a bit, and no kill came of it. So I think most of the action has been going on bot lane. I can imagine this top lane, Pedrillian's just going to stay under the cover of his tower and farm for the next couple of minutes until a gank comes.
Does look like we have the Elise coming to the top lane right now.
Yeah, I don't know if she's going to be able to get on this. The Shyvana's coming down though. Kuznia not throwing the cocoon, decided not to go in for that one. Nasus obviously wanting to just farm. I don't know if that was... I think that was probably communication from the Nasus saying, no, I don't want to go for this kill. I don't have any damage yet. I just need to farm my Q. So, going to be backing away from that one.
Yeah,
and Sorry, carry on, buddy.
Oof, the death sentence just missing, managing to hit a minion there from Garandalf the Grey. And Annie getting the stun down, but taking a lot of damage for it. I don't think that was a worthy trade. And Nasus and the Hench trading like crazy, but Nasus is now completely oomed. So if the Hench can go for a full attack, he has Ignite available, he might be able to go for a kill.
Hench is a little way off level 6 right now. He's going to go into that lane, he's going to check. Pedrillian is not going to have to back there, going to force him out of lane a little bit longer. If he'd turned level 6, it takes a couple more minions. Is he going to try and jump on him in Dragon Form? Does he have his flash up? Because this could be a kill.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens. Elise just chilling next to Baron there, not really doing anything. I'm not sure why. There we go, he's on his way. He's pinging, he's on his way to the top lane. We'll have to see what goes down. There's definitely going to be an interesting team fight, or skirmish, I guess. And the ultimate does go down for the Hench. And Nasus getting really, really low. He's not used his ultimate yet. He doesn't have the mana available. The Hench now getting chased by Kuznia. I don't know if he's going to be able to get away. The Cocoon going to be up any second. The Burnout's available, though, for the movement speed. And he is going to go down for the Elise. So that is a kill. Another kill for the South team.
Yeah, and Pedrillian playing that really well, just showing his top lane prowess right there. He knew that Kuznia was waiting for the ward that was in the top lane to run out. He was going to bait in the Hench with his ultimate.
Oh, we do have a fight going down in the bottom. Garandalf the Grey getting the grab down. Hen's getting really, really low. And Lucian manages to back away. He's going to get really low, though. Draven doing so much damage. And Annie going to go down to Garandalf the Grey. But now Dusberg is in a 2v1 situation. The death sentence just misses, though. Will Lucian be able to finish this off? The barrier goes down, and it's another kill for the Southern team. It is 0 for 5 right now.
Yeah, South really showing their prowess right now, and unfortunately in that trade early on in the bot lane, just not doing many favours for Ducks and Hens. I said they were going to have the bot lane synergy that would be able to outplay Rods, but does look like Defunct and Garandalf are really just gelling together right now, and Garandalf showing why you really should think about banning Thresh against this guy. Again in the top lane I was just saying that Nasus did manage to pull out that gank just by baiting in the Hench, saying, I know you've got your ultimate, I know you think you can kill me, so I'm going to stand here and wait. And make it look like I'm just trying to farm. Does look like Hench is going to try and go on a bit more though, and Ped is just standing there. Has Ped disconnected?
We may have a DC here, and the Hench is respecting that. He's not going to try and go for a kill on a DC. Very honourable play there by the Hench. Yeah, gentleman tournament here. I'm not really sure what's going on. Yeah, we do see the pause coming in. I think Pedrillian has... Yeah, that's the disconnect. So, going to be seeing the pause, but while we've got this pause... Oh, I guess we're not going to have the pause for long, but let's have a quick recap on the game so far. 1,500 gold lead to the south. Let's take a look at the different lanes. Sod it, do you want to give us a bit of a recap?
Yeah, I mean, really, I think all the lanes have been in... Well, I don't think necessarily the lanes have been in favour of one team and the other. I think it's just been kind of overconfident plays by the North team that, you know, we saw in the bot lane. Kind of Annie going in deep, and then Draven thought, oh, he might be able to even up the kill, and then just couldn't, and had to end up kind of throwing himself under a turret to die. I think one interesting thing to note is that earlier, at the very start of the game, every single champion went for the totem and the warding totem drink it, and then as soon as Thresh got those extra 2 kills and he had that sight stone straight away, he instantly got rid of it and replaced it with a sweeping lens instead. And I was talking about that earlier in one of our previous games, of how as soon as you get that sight stone, then you tend to trade out your warding totem for that. And again, if you look on top, they're just knocking kind of chunks out of each other without doing kind of without really getting any real advantage there. I think that they're just waiting for a gank from their jungler.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting to note, Annie Hens has actually levelled his Q first in the lane. Not a lot of Annies will do that because the W provides a lot more base damage, and the potential for big base damage and AoE stuns is huge. He's opted to level that Q. What do you think about that?
Well, personally, I kind of like that idea. I mean, he is against a Lucian Thresh combo, and they're going to have a lot of bursts. We do have a gank going down there. Elise is here as well, but a really good stun by Annie to just mitigate that, and they're going to be able to hang around under the tower. So going back to the Annie level strategy, I like it because the Thresh naturally has armor, so he's going to be able to tank a lot of the Draven harass. So if Annie levels her long range Q harass instead of her incinerate, oh no, that is her incinerate, sorry. If he levels that instead of the AoE, then they're still going to have that long range harass instead of just sort of suffering from Thresh's passive.
Yeah, it does look like Kuzneo on Elise is going for this Drake, trying to solo it out. There were pings going down. Is Druss going to try and face check it? No, they're going to give away the Dragon free. Kuzneo's going to get caught out by Druss though.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. He does manage to get... He gets the Q down. There's no way that Kuzneo is getting away from that one. What, the Moose now in a really bad situation. He's going to have to use his Claw of Doom to get out. But the Shockwave missing from Orianna. And now Hens is in a really bad situation. Misses the Tibbers. Really bad situation. Druss the Student going to ult in. Garandalf the Grey really low now. Getting chased by the Draven. And using the shield at the very last second. I don't know if he's going to be able to get away though. Draven is going to flash for that kill. And that is... another kill for the North. That was a 2-for-1, I believe.
Yeah, but they did pick up South, and South did pick up the Drake, so that's probably going to be worth it for them. However, you've got to note that Dux did get a 4-kill shutdown onto the Thresh, as well as his Draven passive. He would have just chunked a load of gold out of them right there. Currently sitting on, well, 2,000 gold. If you think about how much gold he made from that 1 kill, you've got to think he's going to be a scary presence in lane now. Yeah,
I just want to point out something. As much as it looked like the South have been winning bot lane, Thresh has 4 kills. Now, as great as that is as a support when you get the early kills, Draven is ahead of Lucian on gold. Even though they're down 4 kills in lane, their AD carry is behind. That is so ridiculous. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, but you got to think that Nasus is actually trading fairly evenly with Shyvana in the top lane, so that's not exactly going the way I think the Hench wanted. And in the mid lane, what the Moose is only a couple of CS, well, 10 CS behind Orianna.
What do you guys think of Thresh going for the Boots of Mobility? Because that's
sorry, we do have an engage going on in the top lane. The Hench having to use his ultimate to get out of this one. Nasus has used his ultimate as well, though. The Hench flashing out. I don't know if he's going to be able to get away. Kuzneo happily tanking this tower. He does have the repel available, so he is just going to use that at the last second. He's going to be able to walk away, but the Hens getting caught out by the death sentence under the tower, but an excellent stun on Lucian, mitigating all that damage and able to get away.
Yeah, and right there we saw Hench make a slight error of judgment. He had his burnout available. He probably could have just pegged it towards his inner turret and possibly had a better chance of getting away. There was the repel available on Elise, so he was kind of chancing it, maybe thinking he could make an outplay on the turret and at least take a little bit of damage and get killed off by the turret there. And Ped doing a good job of just tanking the turret out when she came down from the repel. Good presence of mind right there. Hens just charging his stun with the incinerate. And we were going to talk about the mobility boots on Thresh. I think that's a good for a Thresh. I mean, it's a very standard build these days. Usually, if you're going to sort of go for those death sentences or try and roam a little bit. However, we haven't seen Garandalf roam to that mid lane or sort of move around the map too much. So they probably come in a little bit more useful in the mid lane. But Annie gets caught out by a death sentence.
Yeah,
She gets the Tibbers, but she can probably get taken down. The ultimate comes down onto Defunct, takes a ton of damage. Is Dux going to be able to get the kill? One more Q, maybe. No, he hasn't got his flash available.
Oh, and the E unfortunately missing the Thresh there, so not going to be able to get any kills out of that. But Druss the Student is now here. What the Moose is also, he teleported down, but he is going to get absolutely burst down there. Draven picking up that kill, and it's going to be a bot tower for the Northern team.
That was a really odd teleport from What the Moose right there. None of his team were anywhere near him. Maybe he was thinking he could pick up 2-3 kills on Draven and Hens. Bit of an error of judgment. It looks like Annie is going to get stunned until he's Nocturne is getting pulled on the turret, but they're taking the turret down. Kuznia is going to get caught up here by a stun. He's going to have to repel out, but he's got nowhere to go. He's going to try and go behind, but I think he's going to get caught out.
Yeah, really good repel though, managing to sort of get away a bit, but I don't think he's going to be able to walk away from this one. He is being seen by these wards, and I really don't think he's going to be able to get away. He's going to try and get executed, but the Nocturne does get that, and Duxbug able to hit that, but Annie getting the assist as well, so obviously wasn't away from them enough time to get away anyway.
Looks like this one-trick pony and jump a few hurdles. It looks like I've been told that we're pronouncing Henry's name properly. Apparently Henry's is Henry, so...
Henry's, okay.
Yeah, Henry. I'll note that from now on. Thanks to Cool Kel from Manchester for bringing that on up for me.
I apologise, Henry's. I am deeply sorry for pronouncing your name wrong.
I don't apologise.
Does look like Pedrillion is actually starting to out-trade Shyvana in the top lane. That is not a good sign for the Hench. Pedrillion just doing what he does best. He doesn't even need to win the lane, he's just farming his Q.
Yeah, sorry, you go.
If anyone's interested, he's currently at 249 at 15 minutes. The mark of a good Nasus in top lane is often said about 300. Looks like What the Moose is going to get caught out. Orianna ultimate, but he ults himself and manages to evade it, but he's going to get picked off by the Draven again. And that's a 4 for 2 Duxbug.
Yeah, really interesting there. Even though What the Moose did die there, obviously, did get caught out, it was a very good ultimate by him, did dodge the shockwave, so just call out that was, even though it was kind of a bad play, it was also kind of a good play at the same time.
Yeah, moderately good. I think probably would have been better off saving his ultimate, just in case of another engage soon, so he kind of wasted it for no real reason. You know, he didn't trade a flash for it or anything. Orianna had already used her ultimate, so... good show of mechanical skill, probably not the best game play mechanicals. I was going to say that the mark of a good Nasus is often sort of 300 stacks in his Q by 20 minutes. That's what you'd say a very decent Nasus can get. I know some other Nasuses have topped that before, but all in all, Ped's doing a really good job in that top lane, and Shyvana should win really hard. But you know, Ped has some help from his jungler, so Hench is still doing a good job of keeping himself ahead on CS because he is still ahead just about.
Yeah, so really close top lane so far, and the thing is, Nasus is gonna scale really hard, but Duxbug doing really well to catch Thresh out. The box is going up though. Duxbug flashing the box, but getting caught anyway. The Annie Tippers though, stunning the Thresh, and he might be able to get away anyway, but no. Draven is going to be able to pick up that kill with those spinning axes, and we've got a bit of a duel going on in the top lane. However, both junglers are heading up there, so we're going to see a 2v2. The Hench already at half HP though, and Nasus' ultimate is available. We're going to see this battle go on. Drus managing to spell shield the Cocoon though, and I think both teams are just going to back away.
Yeah, you've got a note in that bot lane. That was 2 flashes from the bot lane just for 1 Thresh kill, who hasn't actually picked up any more gold worth since he was killed earlier on. Probably worth it in the sense that Draven did manage to proc his passive, but he's been getting so many kills he can't have burned that up. Does look like Drus is trying to 1v1 Kuznia. They're going both to 50% HP, and both the top laners coming in to back them off, and they're just going to sort of slide out of this one unscathed. Nocturne's ultimate is up, so we should be seeing a gank sometime soon. Does look like What the Moose is randomly in the blue side jungle.
Yeah, not quite sure what's going on there, but we do have some pings going down on Dragon. It looks like North is wanting to try and start this, and Shyvana really wants this tower. It's so low right now, but Pedrillion is just able to sort of block that with himself. But he is going to go back, and that is going to be a top tower for the Northern team while they take this Dragon. I don't think there's anything the South can do about this, and that's a good sign for the North, definitely. It's a Dragon and possibly a tower as well.
Sod, you've been looking at the game so far and how it's swung in the North's favour. What have they been doing to put themselves ahead of the game?
I really don't know, like where they've kind of pulled us back from. I think it's just maybe slightly better mechanical play. I mean, at the moment, I think the only person who's winning his lane at the moment outright is Pedrillion on Nasus. I mean, you're saying, you know, mark of a good Nasus, he gets about 3.
We do have a bit of a fight going down. Duxbug, unfortunately, missing his ultimate, does get caught by the Death Sentence. Going to be able to cleanse that one, though, and Lucian just getting that kill. That was a 2v1, and he nearly got the kill there. Oh, what? Drusted Student does come in. Defunct uses the barrier, and he's able to dash out of that one, gets away from the slow, and Drusted Student might well go down here. Can Lucian get the last auto attack? He does get it, and that is a double kill, or an unofficial double kill for Defunct.
Yeah, that was good play. was going to say, Nas, you're saying the kind of the judgment of a good Nasus is, 300 by the 20-minute mark. Well, he's almost on 350, and we're just going up 19 minutes. So he really is going to be particularly strong in the next, between the 20-minute mark now and the 30-minute mark. I think you'd expect Nasus to really start bullying down that top lane and force the North team
What the
to
moves
put
was
two
that
champions.
Artist has got a lot available, but Kuzneo is coming onto him. Is there a guy like what the moves flashes onto him and gets a Q for the last hit kill? And that was a kind of a delayed engagement. What the moves I didn't think he was going to get his ultimate off, but he did manage to just get it off in the end. And the South are making some good comeback plays here. I just wanted to note that Druss actually went into that engage at the bot lane. I don't think he calculated his mana properly because he had no mana left for a Q. If he had a Q up, Lucian could have died.
Yeah, an unfortunate one there. I'm amazed that What the Moose and Kuznir didn't go for that middle tower there. I mean, no one on the northern team was anywhere near. They possibly could have got a tower out of that kill. But both of them just deciding to go back there. Why do you reckon that was, guys?
I'm unsure. It's slightly odd. Maybe they were thinking that the bot lane were going to sort of rotate up, but they were available at the bot lane. I think maybe they'd sort of both wasted their flash, wanted to just back off and play it safe. They probably could have picked up the tower there, like you said. So it's a slightly odd decision-making process. Looks like Kuznir is coming into this top lane for the Nasus. Hench is going really aggressive here. I don't think he has the potential to kill off anyone.
Yeah, the burnout's up, but the wither's down as well. So I don't know if the Hench is going to be able to get away. Padrillion happily tanking this. Wait in the bot lane. Duxburg trying to get the kill onto the Lucian. He does manage to get it, and now Thresh is in a whole heap of trouble. And I really don't think he's going to be able to get away from this one. Draven just dealing so much damage, just relentless. But he does walk away. Draven not happy to take any tower shots there, and that passive armor from Thresh just doing so much work for him. But just the student trying to 2v1 here.
And Padrillion and Kuznir don't know he's there.
Yeah, this could be a good engagement. They're going to try and take this turret down. Druss is going to get caught out. They must know something's up here. Kuznir is really low.
Oh, the shockwave goes down, but the repel managing to get him. Padrillion getting really low here. The ignite is down, so he doesn't have the sustain that he should have. The ultimate going down. Trust the student managing to chase Elise while Artesh gets the kill onto Nasus. Really well played by the northern team there.
So that Annie gets caught out and Defunct's going to use it to get there. And wow, I completely lost my words. I was looking at the wrong lane. Looks like Duckbird's going to go down too, and double kill going on to Lucian. I was going to say actually earlier on, Duxburg did get a shutdown onto Defunct because he was 3 kills up. That was a shutdown there, and now Defunct has responded with another double kill. So both AD carries are really going to be pushing hard on the front line of their team in terms of the damage.
Yeah, and that was an intense fight in the bot lane. Like, I cannot believe that how one-sided that fight was, considering how explosive it was. But really well played by the southern team to be able to win that fight. But after all of this action, the goal difference right now is only 1.4k. Like in favour of the south, in favour of the north. Sorry, so
just shows
really
you how
close
close
game.
These two teams are in terms of skill. I was going to say a quick recap of those of that bot lane team. While I completely stumbled over my words because I was looking at the wrong lane. Annie did get caught under the tower, which means that she managed to get her tibbers across one member. She then got locked up with the Lissandra ultimate, and Dux was unfortunately in no position to escape from that fight. So thought he'd try and pick off the Lissandra, and he could. Looks like Hench.
Oh, really good flay by Garand after Glade. Blocks the Hench ultimate, but he may well go down anyway here. He doesn't have his flash available, and the Draven ultimate coming up to pick up that kill. Really good shot by him.
I think that probably would have been better off.
Ooh, the Annie flash stun though onto the Elise, and Lucian absolutely melting everyone with his ultimate there, and he's able to get a kill for Elise and for Lissandra there.
There is no love for there is no love for this the Hench and Shyvana right now. She's not getting any kills. Unfortunately, he's just a little bit behind. Looks like Artesh is going to get caught out. Is he going to get picked up?
Oh, the shockwave, really good by Artesh, but it's not going to be enough, and he is going to go down, unfortunately.
Yeah, got a little bit cocky there. Does it like Dross the Student is in the middle of no man's land. He's going to have to back out before getting caught out by Kuznir. He does see Kuznir on the raids on really low HP. Is Dross going to go in here? He goes on his Q, tries to get the movement speed increase. I think he's going to get away. He has got his ultimate up. Great shield onto the cocoon. Does go in with his...
Draven 2v1 in the bot lane. Can he do it? Oh, it's not quite enough. He got the kill on the Thresh, but not quite able to get the double kill. And
Dross picking up a kill with his ultimate, but it has left Nasus on Padrillion and What the Moose just to push down that mid lane, picking up a tower and doing about sort of a third of the HP to the inner turret in the mid lane, so unsure if that was worth. Still, the North have a 300 gold lead. This is how close it is, guys, and Dragon is coming up now.
Oh my goodness, it is lucky we've got 3 casters, because I don't think we've had a single fight where there hasn't been 2 fights going on the map. Trust the Student now beginning this Dragon for the Northern team, and we need this to get our lead back. We're currently only 300 gold ahead. We need to get this Dragon.
But Battalions come in.
Battalions coming in. He does not care about the Annie. He's going to go in and try and take out Druss. Great shield off the Druss, but he's going to get caught out with the Lucian armor. Great Orianna armor, catching out Defunct and Gandalf the Grey. But there's just too much presence from the south right here, and the Dragon and 3 kills go over. But Defunct is so low.
30 HP.
Definitely not a good trade for the Northern team. Changing the gold lead from 300 to 2,000 gold now. And a 3 for 0 and a Dragon. That sucks, let's be honest.
we talked about this at the start of the game, and to be honest, Kuznia has done a brilliant job. We said that the North really needed to take advantage of the fact that they had laning presence with Ignite, and they didn't. The Hench got shut down in that top lane by Kuznia, and to be honest, Artesh just didn't have the kill potential on Lissandra early on, so those Ignites have become less useful as the game's progressed, and the teleports have become more useful, and this is what the South probably were aiming for. And this double teleport strat is really, really solid at putting pressure on the map and then securing objectives through teleport. And they played a really intelligent game. Yeah,
and I really don't necessarily agree with that Orianna pick. I mean, Orianna was the last pick, and it was picked after the Lissandra. But Lissandra kind of almost counters Orianna, just because whenever Orianna shockwaves, Lissandra can ult. So the majority of Orianna's damage is going to be negated by that, and if Lissandra is near Orianna, which is likely because of the claw, then it does that damage anyway, even when it's used on Lissandra. So I mean, because Artesh needed to win that lane because of the Ignite against the teleport setup, and yet he picked against himself kind of thing, it was not necessarily, not necessarily the best pick.
Yeah, Lissandra does have that kit to counter the Orianna ultimate, like you said, and players at this level will be able to use their kit like that. For all of Druss's talk, he is backing it up with a lot of walk right now. He is 8-1-7. Maybe that one-trick pony isn't going to be quite as powerful as he was, but it does look like North have got no fear and just going down that mid lane and taking that inner turret for themselves, trying to even up the gold here.
It is a 45. We have Nasus on top lane, I think he's strong enough now that the North team have to send at least 2 people to deal with him.
Oh my
God, Druss and Duck nearly getting caught.
That was so close. Oh my goodness. But Pedrillion all this time just pushing in the top lane, and they're not going to be able to get there in time. He is going to get a tower. I don't know if they're going to be able to kill him. He is an Azus. He's got his ultimate available, but what Druss the Student is going to use his ultimate to get in there. He's going to get the fear off, and that is going to be a dead Pedrillion.
Peddy knew that he was going down there. He didn't bother wasting his ultimate, knowing that he might need it for a team fight coming up. Are they going to turn round and go for Baron here? It's 4v5. Peddy is down for 30 seconds. Druss has used his ultimate. Looks like they're gearing up for it. This is going to be a big Baron fight.
I feel like the North kind of need this Baron right now. They're starting to fall behind, and they need something to take the edge. But Hench is going straight in. Kuznia getting stunned now. What the Moose is coming in, though. He's got a big ultimate to use on Henry's. But he does use it on himself, but he goes down too quick. And Druss the Student now going down. This is an absolutely chaotic fight, but Lucian goes down as well. And this is a massive fight for the North to get 3 kills, at least narrowly escaping Garandalf the Grey, having to go back, and they're going to go for this middle inhibitor tower.
That was a crazy fight right there. What a move. Flashed into the middle of the team and got deleted off the map by the North. Oh wow, that was brilliant. Peddy is now back up. He thinks he's got his ultimate up. He has got it up. He's going to go straight in on Dux. Dux does not have a cleanse. Yes, he does. His Dux cleanse is going to get away from the wither. Artesh is getting taken low by Peddy. Peddy is going to have to back out of this one. And that's just one tower down, but no inhibitor. It does look like they might turn.
Oh my goodness, they do have a lot of pings coming down on this side brush. I don't know if they're going to try for the turn on. No, they are just going to back away from this one. And wow, I mean, well played by the North to pull that back. They were 3,000 gold behind a second, well, I think 2,000 gold behind, and now they're even again.
Yeah, the entire fight, Artesh hadn't used his Orianna ultimate until the last minute, and he managed to use it to pick off Lucian, and that meant Defunct was going down. Does it look like the South are gearing up for clearing up the Baron here? Penny is still moderately low, but he's just life-stealing with his Q from those wards. I think the North know about this, but it looks like they're going to turn straight for it. Penny hasn't got his ultimate available, so he can't burn it down, but look how quick the Baron's health is going.
Yeah, but the South are here, the North are here as well, so Shyvana possibly going to try and get in there. They do have the smite available. We're going to have to see who gets this. Kuzniak trying to stay there, trying to get the smite off, but Pedrillion starting to get really low, doesn't have his ultimate available. The Hench getting ulted by Shyvana there. Draven managing to pick up the Nazis. Baron is still up here. Just the Student getting really low. Kuzniak 1v1ing him. He does get a fail off, and Just the Student surviving on 10 HP. Shyvana, the only casualty for the North, and now Duxbug flashing after Defunct. Defunct on like so little HP does go down to Duxbug. Now, Lissandra, the only one left. What the Moose trying to escape. He's going to walk away, and the North picking up another team fight for themselves and increasing their gold lead to 2,000 now.
And that was a clutch play from Dross the Student right there. He shielded the Elise's Q. He knew Elise was going to try and execute him, and a great shield coming out from him. And now the North are turning around and trying to burn for this Baron, but Lissandra is going to put a ward down, show her presence. She's still full health. Her ultimate's going to be up sooner than they think. It's over halfway. Looks like a teleport's coming in from Pedrillion. He's going to catch
This
out
is
the Annie.
not good for Henry, as he is going to go down. What the Moose taking so much damage from the Annie support. Doesn't have the DFG yet, but still doing a massive amount of damage. What the Moose coming down on Duxburg does bait him in and uses the Zhonya's, and he's not going to be able to do enough damage. And Pedrillion picking up that kill.
And now the South are going to turn around for the Baron. This has been to and from. Nothing the North can do about it with 2 dead, and their main source of damage, Duxbug, is down. He's also picked up a GA now. Probably would have been better off going for that QSS for the double cleanse. Doesn't like Hench is getting.
Oriana does have the shockwave available. If she uses it, it'll hit 3. She does go for it. Garrett off the grey getting really, really low. The ignite is down. He might go down anyway. Defunct getting really low as well. My camera's following Thresh for some reason. Artesh in a really bad situation now, though. He does get caught by the cocoon, and he's going to get absolutely melted. Lissandra picking up that kill, and the Baron being pinged again.
They must go for it now.
3 people down for the North, though.
Druss has to make a heroic steal here, otherwise I think the North are going to be out of pocket. They're still ahead in
I
goals.
don't think it can.
Oh my goodness. Druss the Student is here. Oh, the smite was well early, but they do get it anyway. Druss not quite near enough. And my goodness, this is such a close game. 1,000 gold ahead for the South team. This is back and forth like every 3 seconds. Druss the Student may get caught out here by Pedrillion.
Druss gets caught out by Pedrillion. He uses his shield a little bit too early. Manages to shield him with her. Doesn't look like he's going to get away. Following his Q, he's going to just make it out alive. Really great. He's so good with those Nocturne shields.
Yeah, definitely. He seems to always be able to get it on exactly the right ability. And Kuznia picking up a free dragon while all this goes on in the top lane. He knew that the enemy jungler was up at the top. He's got the Baron buff. He's not afraid. They had the vision of the enemy wraiths, so if the enemy came, then they'd know they were coming, so he could just pick up that free dragon.
Yeah, and now the North have built, the South have built up a 2k gold lead. It's not much at this point in the game, though. You've got to think about it in that wise. Everyone is going to be big right now. Although the North are 6 kills behind, they've still got a big AD carry who has picked up his GA, which is going to make him less of an ideal target for the South. He's probably going to need a QSS as well at some point, because he's going to need a double wither really against the team that's got so much lockdown on him. But he has picked up that GA, so unfortunately Draven does need those offensive items to make him relevant in that late game.
Yeah, it's going to be... I mean, it's so close. It's like you definitely cannot call who's going to win at this stage in the game. It's going to be so down to how well each team fights. And I mean, even Baron buff, it's a significant buff, but I feel like it's not going to be enough to tilt the fight in either team's favour too much. I mean, the South does have the slight edge. They're 3,000 gold ahead. They've got the Baron buff. However, I feel like this game is so mechanically intense that isn't necessarily going to be enough to guarantee them a team fight.
And for all the brilliant play from the Oriana, she's actually sitting at an item behind the Lissandra. Lissandra's picked up her DFG, Void Staff, and Zhonya's, making her a really scary threat for a burst potential and the ability to survive during that. Oriana's still only sitting at Athenes and really Rabadons, which is not making her as big of a damage threat as a Lissandra, and she doesn't have enough pen to deal with the amount of magic.
The Hench getting caught out here by Defunct. He's going to use the ultimate. Lissandra also going to use the ultimate, and the Hench just getting caught out, and that's going to be a free bot tower for the Southern team.
Yeah, and the Hench has not had a nice game this game. 1 for 6, got shut down in that top lane. It hasn't been making the best decisions, but it looks like Druss is going to try and trade this middle inhibitor.
Yeah, and
Yeah, he's certainly going to go for it.
he's definitely going to be able to get it, but I think it may just be trading for a bottom inhibitor on the for the Southern team. So while it obviously definitely worth getting that middle inhibitor, in fact the Southern team may even try and get a Nexus turret. But the flash box from the Thresh here, Duxbug does go down, but he does have the GA available. Kuznia getting so low. What the Moose does eventually go down. Naz is picking up the kill onto Duxbug, but Oriana going down as well to the Lucian. Defunct so low here, but going to be taking some Nexus towers. This may well be the end of the game for the South. What? Trust the Student going in using his ultimate. Defunct getting so low. Pavilion trying to end the game, but it's not going to be enough. Is it going to be enough? He's going to go down. Oh my goodness.
Holy hell. Dross did actually pick up a trade there, but not sure it was worth it because that's 2 extra towers and an almost dead Nexus. All it needs is a ward inside the base and a double teleport from the Nasus and the Lissandra, and that's a dead Nexus. However, interesting statistic for you guys. If the inhibitor in the game for the team is taken down is the bottom inhibitor, that team that loses their bottom inhibitor first loses games 85% of the time. So the bottom inhibitor is often considered the best inhibitor to take just because of the amount of pressure it gives you on Baron. If you need to go down and clear that bot lane because it's pushing towards your Nexus, you're going to lose pressure on the Baron.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously Baron being such a crucial objective, the Hench really not doing very well in positioning. He's tanking the tower, but he's going to be able to walk away. What the Moose getting really low as well. Just the Student getting caught by that death sentence. The Hench is going to go down though to the Lissandra, and just the Student 1v1 Garandalf the Grey here, and Henry's getting caught out now. The Claw of Doom coming out from What the Moose. The Lucian ult unfortunately missing, but Henry's going to go down to Kuznia, and now Duxbug trying to 1v3 here. What the Moose unfortunately has his Zhonya's available though, so Duxbug may well go down here. Defunct going to be picking up that kill, and it is really not looking good for the North right now.
Yeah, North just unfortunately throwing the game away. 7k down. It looks like we were going to be going to a big tiebreaker game, and the South Super 8 showing why ACOG was such a feared team. Really Defunct 10-4 in Lucian despite losing his lane. He bided his time, he didn't give away any silly kills in that bot lane. And now look at Thresh, a Spirit of Visage, a Randuin's. He is a tanky guy, and I think Pedrillion has lost connection again, so we've got another pause coming up.
We do get a pause at this crucial point in the game. I mean, the Nexus is open right now. I'm amazed that they didn't just push while 3 people were dead. I don't know why What the Moose and that went back, but I feel like they could have just pushed without minions and maybe tried to end the game, but they have decided to play it safe. Obviously, if they had gone for that and not managed to get it, they could have just thrown the game, so not wanting to make any too risky maneuvers. But Nasus is back in the game, so we're going to see a resume coming in.
And it does look like Defunct has had Duxbug's number in these team fights. The problem with Draven is that he's not as scary in the team fights as someone like Lucian, because Lucian has the abilities to do widespread damage, whereas Draven really needs to get up close and personal. Does look like Kuznia is not caring about that turret. She's going straight down to that bot lane to push out. Is isolated right now though. It looks like a teleport is coming in from possibly going to get cancelled actually. What the Moose probably thinking twice about that teleport. There's a bit of an engage in the mid lane. Defunct getting damage on the look like the Hench is going in hard again, followed up by the Druss. Great ultimate, but the Oriana ultimate hasn't come out yet. Defunct's going to escape with his life. There is a repel coming out from the Elise. He's going to get taken down. The death sentence landing on Druss. Oh wow, and Thresh goes in by himself. He has got that Randuin's and Spirit Visage. He is tanky, gets stunned up by Annie, but Druss is solo. Pedrillion.
Oh, wow. What a shield.
The shield shields the Q. Druss knows how to work this game. The Hench's use of Blade of the Rune King is going hard. Pedrillion still wants a bit of Druss. Druss picks up Pedrillion at the end. Annie's Tibbers get caught by the death sentence. Druss is trying to catch out What the Moose. What the Moose is waiting. He's still got that DFG, all of his skills available. And it does look like Lucian is now coming to join the fight. Looks like Artesh nearly got caught out there.
Oh my goodness, this is such incredible play. I mean, the Southern team is so tanky right now. I mean, they take like Garandalf the Grey and Pedrillion were like 2v4ing there and taking so long to go down. It's so hard for the North to get back in this game right now. And just the Student getting caught out. Manages to shield the Q and flash over the wall. He escapes with his life. What incredible play.
Yeah, and Baron is up in 30 seconds, so both teams need to work around this, and to be honest, the advantage is lying with the South with that bottom inhibitor being exposed. Draven has now shown himself in that bot lane. He's going to be clearing that out. The South know when Baron's coming up. They're all grouping around it, and if Duxbug stays in that bot lane, they're going to have a hard time, but I'm pretty sure the North has a good timer on it, considering they were around when it got taken. However, Dross is sitting in that thing, probably waiting for an item. He's going to come out with home guards now. Baron's going live in 4 seconds.
Yeah, they do need to get over there immediately.
The North inhibitor has come back now, so that's not a particularly big issue.
Does look like Draven is sitting there farming wraiths when the Baron is getting taken. Does look like a bit of an error of judgment there, and I think that's going to be a free Baron. It's getting so low right now. Does look like Hedge gets caught out. Dross is going in. Is this going to be a heroic seal? No, the Dross gets away with it. And great flash smite by
Defunct getting 1v1 by the Shyvana though. He may well go down to that. At least picking up the kill on Annie. Draven manages to pick up a kill as well. Pedrillion just tanking so much damage here. He's just chasing Duxburg. Duxburg able to pick up the kill though onto... actually didn't pick up the kill, but Lucian doing so much damage right now. Defunct getting so low, but Shyvana gonna be able to pick up that kill, and he's gonna go down to the Thresh. This is such a close fight. It's a 3 for 4 right now. Just the Student, the only one left, and that is two very tanky guys chasing him right now. Just the Student not gonna be able to 2v1 this, but the Death Sentence comes down with the flash, the Flay, and Just the Student's not gonna be able to get out of this one. And unfortunately, that is gonna be game over for the Southern team.
Yeah,
really?
Oh, maybe not. I could be wrong.
I don't know. There's 14 seconds on Annie, and Annie's
No, they're not going to go for it. They're just going to go for the other inhibitor.
I don't know. Yeah.
They could get a triple inhibitor here, though. They've got a massive wave in the top lane.
Still 20 seconds on anyone that can do any damage. You've got to realise that Ped is now sitting at, if anyone's interested, 540. If he looks like they are going...
Yeah, they are just going to go for the end. I reckon they can do it. I don't think Annie's got enough damage. And Nasus can just melt that Nexus.
She's only just picked up her DFG at this point in the game. It's probably a little bit...
That is game over. No.
No, the South pick up the all-important 2 points from the Super 8. Looks like we're going to a tiebreaker, guys. Stick around. It's going to be a big one.
Can you believe it? 2-2 after all of that. My goodness. I am gutted. I'm gutted. But at the same time, I'm pretty excited because this last tiebreaker is going to be intense. It's going to be a pretty incredible game.
I think that Nasus, the North team, has to ban that out or take it away first pick. That is just otherwise they won't win.
I don't think Nasus was the problem. I think the fact that at least babysit the Nasus early on, because Shyvana should have done a better job of shutting him down, and unfortunately Hench just made some questionable decisions that game. I also just think the overall team composition wasn't as brilliant. I think if Dross had been on his Lee, I think he'd have done a better job at early trades in sort of counter ganks and things. He didn't choose to go for it and went for his Nocturne, which is also just as well feared. He did a good job with those amazing spell shields, but yeah, Ped just got too far ahead because he managed to shut down the Shyvana early on.
Yeah, and I really feel like Defunct absolutely did work that game. I mean, no one else in the game really did as much as he did. I mean, Duxburg on Draven was close to the amount of gold he had, but in terms of usefulness, I feel like Defunct was just that much more powerful. And also, I think he missed his Lucian ult like once the entire game, and that is such a difficult ultimate to use effectively. I mean, you barely even see it being used well in lower elo games, so just showing how good of a player he is.
Yeah.